In 2016, Apple held their annual developers conference. They walked on stage and announced a brand new Notes app. It was faster, cleaner, and built right into every iPhone, and they were going to give it out for free. The entire room applauded, but somewhere in a small studio in Munich, Germany, a two-person team looked at each other and knew that Apple had just declared war on them. Most startups would have folded that day, but instead, Bear went on to win Apple's App of the Year, beat the company that owns the entire platform they run on, and build a loyal following so obsessive that users write love letters about a Notes app. This is the story of Bear and the real reason simple software still wins in a world where billion-dollar competitors exist. By 2015, note-taking apps were already everywhere. Evernote had 150 million users, Microsoft had OneNote, and Google had Keep, and Apple was about to activate their own note-taking app. Every serious player was doing the same thing, adding more features, more folders, more integrations, and more complexity. And their logic seemed obvious. If you give people everything they want, then they'll never leave. But there was a quiet group of people being completely ignored. Writers, developers, researchers, and people who actually thought in words, not in spreadsheets, not in Kanban boards, just words. And every single tool built for them felt like moving into a furnished apartment where someone else already had decided where everything goes. But in 2016, a small Italian software studio called Shiny Frog sat down with one specific question. Not how do we beat Evernote, but what will a Notes app look like if it was actually designed for someone who loves writing? That question sounds small, but honestly, it wasn't. Because when you start with the writer instead of the feature list, everything changes. You are inadvertently practicing an ideology that Steve Jobs and Jeff Bezos believe, to start from the customer and work backwards.
You've got to start with the customer experience and work backwards to the technology.
So the Shiny Frog team chose Markdown, a simple formatting system where asterisks make text bold and hashtags create headers. No clicking toolbar buttons, no taking your hands off the keyboard, just writing continuously. They built a tagging system so flexible that a single note could live in multiple contexts at once without duplicating it. And they made it very beautiful, genuinely beautiful. Multiple handcrafted themes and a typography that made you want to open the app. They shipped it without any press release or a launch event, just a quiet release on the App Store in January 2016. But something was about to shake the very belief that led Shiny Frog to develop the Bear app. By June, Apple announced their own Notes app at WWDC. It was free, native, and deeply integrated with the iCloud. On paper, Bear should have died immediately, but something unexpected happened instead. People who tried both Bear in comparison with Notes always came back to Bear. Not because Bear had more features, but because it felt different. There's a moment every Bear user remembers. The first time they opened the Note and thought to themselves, this app actually respects me. No ads, no upsells, no dark patterns nudging you toward a premium tier every 5 minutes. Just a clean, quiet space to think and to write. And the word about Bear started spreading the way word only spreads when something is genuinely good. Not through ads, but through one writer asking another writer, have you tried Bear? Later in 2016, Apple gave Bear their App of the Year award. Let that sink in for a second. The same company that tried to replace Bear turned around and handed them the most prestigious award in the App Store. Because even Apple's own reviewers had to admit, Bear had done something their engineers didn't. It made writing on the phone feel like something worth doing, and the users followed. Today, Bear has over 1 million active users across the iPhone, iPad, and Mac, and it sits consistently in the top 20 productivity apps on the App Store. And at $2.99 a month, assuming a modest 10% conversion rate, that's a business quietly generating over $3.588 million every year from two people in Munich building a Notes app. So what made Bear different? One thing is that they didn't chase users, they priced for respect. You see, the free version lets you write forever on one device, but to sync across multiple devices, the iPad, the Mac, and the iPhone. You had to pay. And this simple strategy has turned a simple news app into a seven-figure business. No investors, no ads, no sales team, just good software and word of mouth. And here's what makes that even more remarkable. Bear 2.0, their biggest redesign ever, launched in 2023 after years of near silence from the team. No blog posts, no teasers, no hype campaign, just a quiet update notification. And guess what? Users didn't complain about the wait. Instead, they celebrated. Because that's what happens when people genuinely trust what you built. Bear didn't win because they outfeatured Apple. They won because they refused to. And that restraint is the rarest skill in software development because adding features is easy. Knowing what to leave out is the actual craft. The real lesson from Bear isn't about notes. It's about that simple idea that you have. You don't need 100 million users. You need the right 1,000, the right 10,000 who love your product. So if you're still sitting on an idea right now, wondering if the market is too crowded or if the big players have already won, their story is your answer. The market is never too crowded for something genuinely built for people. If this story gave you something to think about and you're wondering, how do I start building? You might want to check out this other video about how I replicated a $10,000 a month website using just AI. Leave a comment in the comment section and tell me what struck you. And please share this video with someone who's been overthinking their idea. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.